Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a first chapter challenge video. Essentially I've got too many books unread, this entire bookshelf, and I don't know if I'm still interested in reading all of them. So I essentially thought I'd go through the bookshelves, have a look through the books and kind of give a bit of a chance, literally just reading the first chapter. I will say, because this is a first chapter challenge, I'm going to stay away from my classics. I definitely think I own classics that I won't end up reading, but I don't think one chapter is enough for me to decide that on a classic, because they do take me a lot more to get into. I was thinking of doing just like YA contemporary books, but honestly I don't own that many of them because I've kind of been realising I don't like them. So yeah, basically I'm now going to go through my shelves. I haven't done this yet, probably should have, and pick out some books that I think I should try the first chapter of. Book 1, Crazy Rich Asians. Book 2, The Library of Shadows. Book 3, Dry. Book 4, Life of Pi. Book 5 and 6 is The Boy Who Killed Demons and We Need to Talk About Kevin. Book 7, The Duke and I. Book 8, Beautiful Creatures. I'm going to do 2 more, books 9 and 10, book 9 being Pandemic and book 10 being The Essex Serpent. So yeah, I think 10 is a pretty decent number. These are the 10 books that I'm going to be reading the first chapter of and deciding if I want to keep them or not. These are all books that I've picked up at various points over the last 2-3 years. I think all but one of these I've found in either charity shops or book exchanges over the last couple of years. One of them is from like 7 or 8 years ago and I actually won it, and for some reason I've never read it. But honestly, if I haven't read it in this amount of time, probably not going to read it. It's also on my self-destruct list. In fact, 3 of the books in this pile are on my 2022 these books will self-destruct in 12 months list, so need to make a decision by the end of the year anyway. Yeah, basically what I'm going to do is, before I pick up a book, I'll tell you the synopsis, and then when I'm finished reading chapter 1 I'll come back and tell you if I'm keeping it or if I'm not keeping it and my reasons why. There may be mild spoilers in this video. I'm not intending to spoil anything and I'm only reading 1 chapter, so I don't think there's going to be anything in chapter 1 that is going to spoil the rest of the book. I don't think that can happen. If it does seem that way when I'm reading it, obviously I won't mention specific things, but I think overall I'm just gonna read the first chapter and let you know what I think of it, what happened that I liked, what happened that I disliked, why I'm going to keep the book and hopefully read it all one day, or why I'm going to get rid of it. So book number 1 is Crazy Rich Asians, and this says, the only thing crazier than love is family. When Rachel Chu agrees to spend the summer in Singapore with her boyfriend Nicholas Young, she envisions a humble family home and quality time with the man she hopes to marry. But Nick has failed to give his girlfriend a few key details. 1, that his childhood home looks like a palace. 2, that he grew up riding in more private planes than cars. And 3, that he just happens to be the country's most eligible bachelor. On Nick's arm, Rachel may as well have a target on her back. The second she steps off the plane, her relaxed vacation turns into an absolute obstacle course of old money, new money, nosy relatives and scheming social climbers. This doesn't sound appealing to me anymore, but I obviously picked it up for a reason. I think honestly the reason might be, I'm pretty sure I paid £1 for this and it's a new book. And I have watched the film. I don't remember enjoying the film. I'm pretty sure I watched it on a plane and it was just okay. But yeah, maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe I won't. I'll read the first chapter and let you know what I think. Okay, so I actually really enjoyed the prologue of this, where it was like set a few years before it was. So the prologue was set 24 years before and like it was so interesting and like already dealt with so much. But then chapter 1 went straight into like the romance crap and I don't care. that is the basics of it. I don't care. I would definitely be interested in reading from this author because the prologue was great, but like the actual content of this book and like what it's about, I don't care about. I'm not like a romance reader and that does not interest me. So yeah, the next book I'm going to pick up is Library of Shadows. This one says, imagine that some people have the power to affect your thoughts and feelings through reading. They can seduce you with amazing stories, conjure up vividly imagined worlds, but also manipulate you into thinking exactly what they want you to. When Luca Campelli dies a sudden and violent death, his son John inherits his second-hand bookshop. Libri di Luca in Copenhagen. John has not seen his father for 20 years since the mysterious death of his mother. After Luca's death is followed by an arson attempt on the shop, John is forced to explore his family's past. Unbeknown to John, the bookshop has for years been hiding a remarkable secret. It is the meeting place of a society of book lovers and readers who have maintained a tradition of immense power passed down from the days of the great library of ancient Alexandria. Now, someone is trying to destroy them, and John finds he must fight to save himself and his new friends. That sounds like it could be interesting if I don't find it boring to read the writing style. So yeah, again, I'm going to read chapter 1 and I'll be back to tell you what I think. Okay, so this one, The Library of Shadows, definitely a keep. I only read chapter 1 as this is like the aim here, but it was so good. I will say chapter 1 was by like someone's perspective who's now dead, so I'm aware I could change my opinion, but honestly I'm like so gripped and so wanting to know what's going on after like the first chapter. Yeah, definitely gonna keep it and gonna try and get it onto a TBR at some point soon because yeah, I just wanted to keep reading. I'm not going to because I'm trying to be sensible, but yeah, really impressed with this already and I've only read one chapter. Okay, next up we have Dry by Neil Schusterman and Jared Schusterman. I'm pretty sure this is like a father-son writing duo, but yeah, this is the next one. Again, I can literally still see it. I paid £1.95 for this from the charity shop. I don't remember what it's about and I don't remember why I picked it up. Let's read the back. Everyone's going to remember where they were when the taps ran dry. The drought, or the tap out as everyone calls it, has been going on for a while. Life has become an endless list of don'ts. Don't water the lawn, don't take long showers, don't panic. But now there is no water left at all. Suddenly, Alyssa's quiet suburban street spirals into a war zone of depression and violence. When her parents go missing, she and her younger brother must team up with an unlikely group in search of water. Each of them will need to make impossible choices to survive. Hopefully it's good. I'm going to read the first chapter and I'll let you know. Honestly, I've only got to page 16, but it started at about page 8 or 9. I'm not going to keep this one. I don't know. I'm not vibing with it. And I know myself well enough by now to know that it's not going to happen. I think the premise is a really cool idea and I'd definitely be interested in picking up books in the future with this same sort of premise. Our main character I followed, I think we do follow a few other perspectives throughout, but like I think our main one is the one that I was reading from to start with, is fine, but she's 16 and I just don't really care that much. And then, you know, I only read a little bit and the younger brother had come into it a lot and the stupidity, and I really don't think that I can read a book about like this sort of thing where people are just stupid. Like, although it's crazy to think like this is, you know, realistic. People don't seem to care about global warming anymore. They don't seem to care about climate change, and if we keep going the way we're going, this is quite realistic. And when someone is just straight away, as soon as they hear the news, guzzling drinks, even if it is a 10-year-old, I fucking hate kids. Like, I don't want to read it. I don't care. And maybe it gets better, maybe I'm judging it too soon, but the fact that we've already had like stupidity from the parents, no one's worried right now. Like, this started out, we found out this was happening because they couldn't fill up the dog's water bottle. No one's addressed that. Their dog doesn't have water in its water bottle right now. I am like an animal lover. Like, you know, if something happened, the cats would be my top priority. Like, I don't care what, like anything, cats are number one. And to think that this started because I couldn't get water in the dog's water bottle and that still hasn't been addressed like 10 pages later, I just can't. Honestly, I just can't. So yeah, I'm putting it down. Next up, we have Life of Pi. I'm going to say straight away, I have a feeling this one's going to be a no. This is one of the books that is on my self-destruct list. I've been very aware of that and knowing that I should read it all this year, and I haven't yet, which makes me think I don't really care. But on the back we have, after the tragic sinking of a cargo ship, one solitary lifeboat remains bobbing on the wild blue Pacific. The crew of the surviving vessel consists of a hyena, a zebra with a broken leg, a female orangutan, a 450-pound Royal Bengal tiger, and Pi, a 16-year-old Indian boy. The scene is set for one of the most extraordinary pieces of literary fiction in recent years. I don't really read a lot of literary fiction. I read some, not a lot, and I don't think I'm going to vibe with this, honestly. I think I have started trying to read this before. It's definitely been on TBRs this year. I don't know. There's an author's note at the front, and we go straight into chapter 1. Oh, the chapters are just randomly through. Oh, okay, where's chapter 2 then? Chapter 2 starts on page 7, but it starts like here. They're just like continuations. That's a bit odd, but okay. So I guess I'll read up until chapter 2 and I'll come back and check in. I'm hopeful that this will be good. I think it'd be really cool to read, and like, it's won prizes. It should be good. I just don't know if it will be my vibe, and I haven't cared about picking it up at all this year, so I have to also be realistic. This is on my will self-destruct. Even if I enjoy chapter 1, do I enjoy it enough that I'm going to pick it up in the next 2 months? That also has to be a question for this one and the next 2. So yeah, let's read. Oh right, this one's a no. I don't think it's a bad book, and I didn't hate it, but I don't really read this genre, and I don't think I will. You know, in 10 years time, maybe I will suddenly become like a literary fiction girly, 10-20 years, and I'll buy it again. But right now, I'm not going to read it. I don't see any way of me ever prioritising this, and I didn't enjoy it enough to like want to pick it up automatically, so for me, unfortunately, it has to go. Then the next book is another one from these books for self-destruct, so again I have to think, am I actually going to read it soon as well? But this is We Need to Talk About Kevin. Ava never really wanted to be a mother, and certainly not the mother of an unlovable boy who murdered 7 of his fellow high school students, a cafeteria worker and a much adored teacher who tried to befriend him. All 2 days before his 16th birthday. Now, 2 years later, it's time for her to come to terms with marriage, career, family, parenthood, and Kevin's horrific rampage in a series of startlingly direct correspondences with her estranged husband, Franklin. Uneasy with the sacrifice and social demotion of motherhood from the start, Ava fears that her alarming dislike for her own son may be responsible for driving him so nihilistically off the rails. Don't think I'm gonna like this. Anyway, don't really know why I brought it. Well, I brought it because I can remember vaguely watching the movie when I was younger, but I really don't remember it well enough to give you like even plot points. Yeah, again, I'm gonna give it the first chapter. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm not hopeful with it, especially if it dealing so much with motherhood. It's just not something I care about reading about, even in like this very fictional, the son's now a serial killer sort of way. Well, I suppose mass murderer if it all happened at once. But yeah, either way, just not bothered by it. But it could grip me. It could just grip me and want me to keep reading. So I guess we'll give the first chapter a go and see. Yeah, I just don't care. I read the first letter because it's not done in chapters, it's done in like letters. I really just don't care. I don't give a shit. And I don't see myself ever giving a shit and wanting to read it. So it's gone. Next up, oh, it's underneath you. The Boy Who Killed Demons. This is the final one that's like on my self-destruct list. I do still have 2 books on my self-destruct list for the year, but I'm either going to get to them or I will like run them over. I know I'm not meant to, but yeah, there are just 2 that I just haven't managed to get to, but I have tried, and I know I want to give like a longer shot to see if I will like enjoy them or not, so I have left those 2 off. But yeah, this is the final one for now. This is The Boy Who Killed Demons. I actually won this many years ago. Like, I don't even think it was out when I won it. It says first published in 2015. I thought it was even earlier than that. I think it might have been like the end of 2014 I might have received this. Yeah, So this is The Boy Who Killed Demons. I'm excited to give it another go. Like, I've just never cared to pick it up. If I remember correctly, I just really didn't vibe with the writing style. Like, I did try and read it when I got it, but again, like, I got it like 8 years ago. That could have changed now. Maybe I will be more up for it. So on the back it says, "My name's Henry Dudlow. I'm 15 and a half and I'm cursed. Or damned, take your pick. The reason? I see demons." So begins the latest thriller. Oh, this isn't even... Okay, on the back it's more about the author and the writing the story. So yeah, that's what we're getting. I'm going to give it a go. I'm kind of hopeful about this, but I'm also just being realistic that this has been on my self-destruct list since, you know, last December. I haven't picked it up all year. I haven't tried to. I haven't been intrigued to. Realistically speaking, probably not going to happen, but you never know. So let's give it a go. Okay, so this is a no. It's gonna go, but it's kind of a bit of like, what are you doing? Jafar, what are you staring at? I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit of an annoying one because I feel like I could have enjoyed this when I was younger. I thought I had a problem with the writing. I really doubt that I do. It reads very easily. I don't know why I didn't read this when I was younger, but it's not one that I'm interested in anymore. You know, it's horror, it's young adult, and I would say, so right now, currently, I'm rereading the Demonata books by Darren Chan. I would say this reads a bit younger than that, but obviously like, I'm enjoying those books, but a lot of the reason I'm enjoying them is like the reminiscing factor of reading them and like reading them again. So yeah, I think this is a really cool book, and other people hopefully really enjoy it, so I am going to give it away. I'm probably going to take this to one of the free little libraries because a lot of them by me are like done in big telephone boxes, and there's often like a young adult kind of like, you know, this sort of age range book section. So I'm going to take it that because I feel like other people could really enjoy this. I just think for me, I've kind of outgrown it a bit. Not like I enjoy young adult still, I'm not saying that, but in terms of like, I could read this and still have an alright time and give it 3 stars probably, but I don't want to read 3-star books. I want to read like 5-star books ideally. Like, it would be fucking amazing if every book was 5 stars. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Then we have book number 7. Yeah, book number 7 is The Duke and I. This is the first Bridgerton book. I really enjoy the TV series. It's a bit of mindless watching. I think it's fun. I picked up the book. I think I picked it up because it was in like an exchange or something. I don't know. It could have been a charity shop, whatever. But essentially I picked it up because I was like, oh, I enjoy the TV show. I should read the book. I don't read romance books. I don't know why I thought that. Like, I just don't really vibe with them in general. I think I'm going to start having the rule of like, even if I'm in a real bookshop, like, you know, like a brand new bookshop, I'm going to read the first chapter. Before I pick up any sort of romance book, I have to read the first chapter because I'm getting a bit silly with it now. But yeah, this is what I'm going to read. So, by all accounts, Simon Bassett is on the verge of proposing to his best friend's sister, the lovely and almost on the shelf Daphne Bridgerton. But the two of them know the truth. It's an elaborate plan to keep Simon free from marriage-minded society mothers. And as for Daphne, surely she will attract some worthy suitors now that a duke has declared her desirable. Their ruse works like a charm at first, but as Daphne waltzes across ballroom after ballroom with Simon, it's hard to remember that their courtship is a complete sham. Maybe it's his devilish smile, certainly it's the way his eyes seem to burn every time he looks at her. It wasn't the plan, but it seems she's falling for the Duke for real. And amidst the glittering, gossipy, cutthroat world of London's elite, there's only one certainty. Love ignores every rule. I'm going to give it a go. I don't read historical, and I don't read romance. I don't know why I thought I'd enjoy a historical romance. Probably because I enjoy it on TV. I'm very happy to like watch that sort of thing. It just doesn't really work in my brain when reading, but I'm going to give it a go. We'll give it a go. Honestly, right now I'm just not asked about the book. Maybe I would be if I hadn't watched the TV show. Like, you know, I am someone who enjoys reading the book first. But yeah, I'm just not asked about it. I'm going to give it a go. Maybe it'll capture my attention, but I'm not too hopeful. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I think it's kind of like one of those where if I didn't have so many books to read, which like obviously is a very like privileged thing to say, I might get around to it, I might read it at some point. And I'm a little bit worried that I'm gonna regret it and like at some point have a desire to read it. But I read all of the prologue, which was quite long, and a few pages of like the official chapter 1, and it was nothing new. And everything I was reading, I was like, I've seen it in the TV show, and the TV show was so good. I just don't think I have the interest in like reading like the original source material. It's not giving me these like magical like sets and like picturesque views as I'm reading it. Whereas like in the TV show, it's all like done so cool, so amazingly that yeah, like I think, again, it's nothing against the book. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I just don't think I'm one of those people, especially having like seen the TV show. I don't think the book is ever going to live up to that. And also it's like a 8-book, 9-book series, something like that. So I'm never going to read it all, if I'm being realistic. Now I've watched the TV show, I'm never going to get round to all of it. Because I'm going to want to watch the series of the TV show first, and the series of the TV show going in a different order to the books as well. So yeah, I think this is one of those very rare, very few occasions where I'm like, I don't want to read it, I'd rather just watch the TV. Next up we have this one. It's Beautiful Creatures. I missed out on this when it was coming out. Like when these sort of series was out, this is just one that I didn't get to, and because of that I am worried that I'm not going to be interested in it anymore. But I feel like it should still give me like the same vibes as like the books that I did get to, that were, you know, I assume this is vampires, I don't actually know for sure. In Ethan Watt's hometown, there lies the darkest of secrets. There is a girl, slowly she's pulled the hood from her head. Green eyes, black hair, Lena DeCharnes. There's a curse. On the 16th moon of the 16th year, the book will take what it's been promised, and no one can stop it. In the end, there is a grave. Lena and Ethan become bound together by a deep, painful love, but Lena is cursed, and on her 16th birthday, her fate will be decided. Ethan never even saw it coming. I don't know. I really don't know what it's about, to be honest. It's some sort of creature. I don't know if it's going to be witches, vampires, werewolves, but it's that sort of cheesy YA that I loved growing up, and I still love reading now. So I'm hoping, even though I haven't read it and don't know anything about it, it'll still, you know, give me those classic cheesy YA feels that quite frequently throughout the year I want to feel. Yeah. Okay, so like the mini prologue bit in chapter 1 was only 13 pages, so I'm not like 100% like yeah, like amazing, cool, but I am gonna keep it. I think, you know, I do a few times a year get a real need to just read a cheesy YA and get completely absorbed in it and drowned in it. And the more I read, the less new stuff I have that can fit that. So I feel like this could fit the bill. So I am going to keep it. I am hopeful I will like find it as like cool and good as all the other like cheesy stuff that I love to read. I mean, I still have Twilight to reread, and I feel like this could give the same vibes, or maybe even better vibes, who knows. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one. Then on to the next one. We have Pandemic. I remember this one now. So basically a while ago I did a video where I read books about pandemics. I think I ended up reading 2. It's when I was very strictly sticking to like only what I could read in a week. I have a 3rd one up here which I wanted to get to in that video, but I don't regularly read more than 3 books a week, so I hadn't picked up a 4th, but I had in, I'm guessing, a charity shop, found a 4th, which was just called Pandemic. It sounds interesting, it's just absolutely massive, and I feel like you can't really read that many books about pandemics without them just being repetitive. So I feel like even if I like this one, if it feels like it's going to be too repetitive, I'm not going to be interested. But yeah, it sounds interesting. So it says day 1, Mandera County, Kenya. A young man arrives at a remote hospital. He's burning with fever and barely conscious. He's also bleeding from his eyes. Fearing an Ebola-like outbreak, the World Health Organization scrambles a rapid response team headed by a leading epidemiologist, Dr. Peyton Shaw. But what she finds in Kenya is beyond her worst fears. The world is facing an outbreak quite unlike anything previously documented. In just 2 weeks' time, the disease, with a 95% fatality rate, will infect every corner of the planet. To find a cure, Dr. Shaw must trace the origin of the pathogen, but with each passing hour, her suspicions grow. This outbreak is no natural catastrophe. Like, honestly, that sounds really cool and really interesting to me. I'm really hoping, you know, I'm going to read the first chapter now. I'm hoping it does something a bit different to the other pandemic books I've been reading. I think it will, because it seems much more focused around the exact time it's happening, whereas the other books I've read on pandemics have kind of been like, a pandemic happens and you might see flashes of the original bits throughout, but it's focusing a few years later or 10 years later or whatever. So yeah, I'm hopeful about it. I just know if it is too similar, I don't know if I'll be as interested. But yeah, let's read the first chapter. Okay, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna keep it for now. The prologue, didn't love, but chapter 1 was like cool, so I feel like it has potential. I assume it's gonna go more with how chapter 1 was written and how the prologue was written, and I really like this idea of us like following it. And also there was a bit of a note before it, and it said how, you know, as far as like the CDC and the World Health Organization, that's written like very accurately. Like, so the author got like real help with making it as accurate as possible. And also apparently all of like the sciencey bits in this are real and accurate. Like, they do say like any errors are like their own causing, but they have had help from professionals, and they have tried to make the response and the science aspects of this book really accurate to fact rather than fiction. So I think that's really interesting, and I am intrigued to read this one. The very last book, book number 10 that I picked out, is the Essex Serpent. I think this might have been a cover buy because it looks really cool. Like, look at that shine. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but it's got like green foiling on it. So yeah, the reason I'm not so sure about this is because it's historical, which I don't tend to read. But I am determined that I will find some that I enjoy. I don't know why I have to be determined like this. I should just be happy enjoying the genres I enjoy. But I want to know what I enjoy in every genre. So here we go. London, 1893. When Cora Seaborn's husband dies, she steps into her new life as a widow, with as much relief as sadness. Retreating to the countryside with her son, she encounters rumours of the Essex Serpent, a creature of folklore said to have returned to roam the marshes. Cora is enfrailed, believing it may be an undiscovered species. Setting out on its trail, she collides with a local minister, William Ransom, who thinks the cure for hysteria lies in faith. While Cora is convinced that science offers the answers, despite disagreeing on everything, he and Cora find themselves drawn together, changing each other's lives in unexpected ways. I didn't know there was religion in this. I hope it's not a big point of it. Let's read the first chapter and see what we think. The first chapter is only 4 pages long, and I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's one I'd have to commit more of my like headspace and energy to read and figure out. So for now, I'm going to keep it. Hopefully, it does turn out being good. If not, then I'll have made the wrong decision. But I think it's one of those that by kind of like the quarter way through mark, I'll know. But it will take me a bit to get into and make that decision. So yeah, keeping it for now. So out of the 10 books that we started with, I am going to be keeping these 4. So this is The Library of Shadows, Beautiful Creatures, Pandemic, and The Essex Serpent. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to prove myself right and really enjoy these. So yeah, I do really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please do give it a like if you did enjoy this. I do really enjoy doing these like first chapter challenges. I do think it's a really good way to kind of decide if I do like a book. I just need to start remembering to do them when I'm actually purchasing books, because there's no reason why I can't read a chapter. Like, it takes 10 to 20 minutes to read the first chapter of a book. That, like, I could very easily do that when I buy books. Like, I don't buy loads at a time. I need to start remembering I can do that and not just getting hyped up by the cover or like a vague synopsis. But yeah, do hope you enjoyed the video. Do give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe down below for more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!